Well, hey everybody. Monkey Puzzle here, and it is time for episode number 12 of the Ark IronMine server clusters series. And today is time for part 2 of Ark Smart Breeding. Something like that. But yeah, just trying to breed some Rexes for the boss fights. I'm way behind everybody. I've got all the Rexes I've been working on scattered all over the place, but out on the perimeters of everything, over there and way over there, are a bunch of battle Rexes and stuff that have already been tested in the boss fights several times already. These guys have already gone and put down a replicator here, which I cannot use, or I guess I could use it, but I won't use it. But right now, it only makes regular things that I have the engrams for, because I don't have any tech engrams yet. But look at that. Here are our goals. There is the head of a manticore, and there is the head of a dragon. They look kind of small here. They must be bigger. I was going to say IRL. But you know what I mean. Anyway, I just wanted to check in with you guys before I got too far. I haven't gotten that far yet because I've been busy doing lots of things, both here and in real life and stuff. But the main thing I have focused on so far is trying to breed a base pair of Rexes to breed from. And when I say base pair, what I mean is Rexes that are the highest levels without mutations of the ones that I have available over here. We went through this a lot in the previous episode, and this is going to be another kind of heady technical episode, so if that doesn't interest you, you might want to skip to the next one. But in here are what I have come up to so far with doing the base pair. These are the ones that I was working with before. These guys now have to take a step back, and over here are these ones. So this is 4 females. We got a level 307, 307. These are all 307. And then this one is the male, and this one is a 290. So let me drag the app over here so we can see what's going on. All right, here it is, this nice, beautiful looking app. Lots of numbers and lots of words and figures and things like that. So I know it's not the most exciting for folks, but this has been really useful to keep track of all these different Rexes here. And, you know, I'm trying to give them names and stuff at this point that mean something to me. I've given up on the name generator because now at this point, I just want to be able to look at them and know things about them. But this is keeping track of them. So the ones that I just showed you, now if we sort here by top percentage of dinos, they're all pretty much up here. And they're these top females. So way at the top here, we got 307 Waba. And then we got the 307 base, 50 HP, 44 stamina, 50 melee. So that's not the actual value. This is the number of levels that have been put into those stats. And we got Waja. And then there's one other here. Oh yeah, the 307 female base. Now, if we look at these all have the same stats. That's just the highest that I got up to with them. So they have 50 put into HP, 44 levels into stamina, and 39 into oxygen, 33 into food, 44 into weight, 50 into damage, and then for speed, they have 46. And so I guess 306 is the number of level ups from 1. I'm not sure. And yeah, for stats, these are now in the 92nd percentile. Now you see there are some below here that have higher stats. For instance, the highest HP is 56 levels. The highest stamina is 47 levels. And the highest damage is 52 levels. So what that works out to, if we go back over here, is basically at base, these are imprinted, but not leveled. So the 100%, oh, this is 101. So that's not the best example. Let's see. 100. 101 happens sometimes with the S Plus Nanny. Anyway, what those numbers equal is for health, that's 14,520. So this is with the 50 levels into health, and for damage, what that equals is 502. And at the highest leveled ones over here, and I'm not talking about the total number, I'm talking about the levels put into those stats. This one has the 56 levels into health, and that comes up to 16,104. So that's the highest that I have here to work with, and 52 levels into melee damage, which is 516 rather than that 502 over there. So this is without any mutations at all, whereas the 52 health and the 56 health and the 52 HP both are based on mutations. So these have 7 mutations to get up to those. Those were mutations for health and damage, health and melee. Oh, we're thirsty. Okay. So for breeding in Ark, to get mutations, you can't have more than 20 mutations. So we want to keep a base pair to breed from, so we can keep reducing either the patrilineal or the matrilineal line, depending on, as the case may be, down to 0. So we don't just breed them back and forth. If you mate mutated creatures with mutated creatures, these numbers just keep stacking. They don't just add up what they have already, but they actually even keep adding onto each other, even though you're not actually getting new mutations. So we got to keep that under control. And so I need this base pair for, as I get mutations, to be able to keep coming back to and reducing one of these sides so that I can continue to get new mutations. And I've never done it this way. It makes it way more complicated than just mating them back and forth and trying to get the highest levels out of them. But, you know, theoretically, I can get to much higher levels of mega dinos this way. So that's why I'm putting in this level of work to get there. Now, going back to our fancy little app here, the one that I have chosen to mate them with is not this one here. And let me get these guys selected again so that you can keep them compared. But this one was all the way down at level 290. So why did I pick a level 290 to mate with the 307s? Don't you want to just keep going higher and higher in your level? Well, for bragging rights, yes, you could say, yeah, I got 300 and blah, blah, blah. But really, you got to look at what those numbers have gone into. So, for instance, these ones have 46 level ups into speed, whereas this one only has 40. Levels put into speed are wasted because no matter how many levels go into them, these with the imprint are only going to have 120% speed no matter what, no matter if they're 40 or they're 46. So I'm calling that lean when it has less levels put into things that aren't useful. This one also has only 36 levels put into oxygen versus 39. And it has 33 levels put into weight rather than 44. So it's lean. It's got more levels to put into things. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the max level possible is on our server. We have difficulty set at 6, which means you can get a max level of 180 dino. Now, on official, the highest level you can get is 450, whether it's tamed or bred. So there is an incentive to keep this number from getting too high, except for stats that you want to add to it. Because every time you add a stat, basically every time you get a mutation, this number goes up by 2. One for the stat and one for an associated color mutation that always comes with it, whether it shows or not. Now on ours, I don't know what the max level is. I mean, just extrapolating, it would be 675. So at that rate, I shouldn't really have to worry about it because it's so high, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. So I'm just trying to be conservative with this number going up and not waste levels into things like speed and such. So that's why I mated these guys with this one, 290 male, base top lean. He's the best, the top of some of the other lean ones that I found. So going back to here, now what I did with that crossing is I then set up a hatchery. So this is a cheaty thing from Stuctures Plus. I've never used it before. It's got this nice little dodo in it and some eggs. But what this does is if you put reef fertilizer in it, and I got 63 and it doesn't seem to use it very fast at all. If a fertilized egg is dropped in its range, it will pick it up and it will not gestate it, incubate it down to 1%. So when I put these down, they're going to hatch right away. They won't hatch all the way in here, but they are collected and ready to go. So it's just a way to speed up time on a server that's got Stuctures Plus, because basically I've got 4 females there, and so I'd get 4 eggs at a time, and then you have to wait for the cooldown on your server in order to mate them again and get the next 4, and if you're not there, they'll spoil and get wasted, and so on. So this basically allowed it to happen, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, about 10 matings, I guess. I guess I could have just added it up anyway, something like that. So it just saves some time. So with that, the law of averages means that I'm going to get something good, because it is pretty random what you get. Like, so I did this with the first crossing to get to these guys, and I got a lot of different stuff. I got some interesting things over here too. I've got some mutations that I may breed in afterwards. This one got a damage mutation, melee, so it's got 52 levels into it. This one got a health mutation. It's got 52 levels into it, although the highest one was 56. So it was pretty interesting. I went through a lot of them. But so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these eggs out of here. Let's just do it en masse and put it in necessity, because she can carry a lot. Ooh, that's even heavy for her. Eggs are heavy. Let's gotta make sure actually I don't take the refert away, even though I'm not actively breeding at the moment. Everybody's off of wander, and these are just regular eggs I've been collecting because I've been eating them for food occasionally. Get free meals out of this, living on Rex eggs. Yes. So once I get the base ones I want to breed with, then I'm going to start breeding for mutations with them, and then being able to breed back to them to make sure that my mutation numbers don't get out of control. And I've got a lot more to learn about that. I will figure it out when I get there. But what I want to do is get necessity over here and get all these eggs put into the fridge. I can't just, well, I guess I could transfer. Not all of that would go into the fridge. So let's see what happens if I do that. What else goes in there? We got some seeds. We got some other junk that went in there. But here is one fertilized Rex egg. And, oh, you know what I need to do is go get some meat. So I'm going to go get some meat. And I'm just going to show you my process real quick, how I go through these. And then I'm going to go through them on my own. And we're going to take it to the next level. I just wanted to show you how I'm working this, what my process is, before I get too far and show you the ultimate mega Rex that I have bred from this process. All right, we're going to go hunting. I got plenty of lower level dinos I'm just going out and hunting with. Eventually, I'm going to need to level up the ones I'm going to take out. But anyway, I'll be back soon. And as I go around here killing things, I just want to make sure when I mention the hatchery that the thing you do is that you leave your dinos on wander. You leave them breeding, and then that's just picking up the eggs automatically as you breed while you're not even on the server. You just log off and come back and have a hatchery full of eggs. And that's what all these guys who do the breeding tutorials are doing, is just setting up a hatchery and then getting a bunch of eggs and going through and checking out what the best ones are. Check it out. These battle Rexes have a fancy red stripe. You get bonus points if you breed a Rex that's not only the highest level, but it's got fancy colors. Alright, so I got plenty of meat in case I get something that I want to keep, and I most certainly will. Let's move out of the way, necessity. And check this out. So yeah, this got some air conditioners down here. You guys saw this last time. Very simple setup. Very basic. Need an egg to start. So my goal right now is to go through all these eggs. And that hatchery is a blessing and a curse, because if you want to be completionist and find all the best of what you got to go through all of those, and each of them requires doing this. So you just go ahead and drop it down with your O key, and it hatches right away, and the level tells you very quickly a lot of information. So we know that this one does not have all the levels that are in those guys. So we got to go into its inventory, and then I got to bring this back and go to read values from Ark window, and it's going to capture all the stats of this guy. If I bring it over here, you can see this too. If I bring it over here a little bit more, can't see those anymore, but you can see this distribution chart right there. It's pretty useful. Anyway, I'm going to send that over that way. And so now we can see that into health, this one only has 38 levels. And, oh, you know what I didn't point out, in the male has a higher stamina than all the females it was breeding with. It has 47. And stamina is a very good value if you're riding the Rex. If you're not riding it, it doesn't matter, because then it basically has infinite stamina. But if you're riding it, the more stamina, the better, because Rexes run out of stamina very easily when you're fighting with them. So it didn't get the good health. It didn't get the good stamina. It got the lower oxygen, and it got the higher weight, which, since we probably have way higher of a level cap than, than official, then we can go ahead and leave the higher weight, and it's got the good damage. Oh, and it's got the low speed. But this one is a long ways from being where we want. Now, if we didn't have the hatchery, what I could do is save this one and cross it with another one that had these values that I wanted. But I don't think I'm going to have to do that. Instead, we're going to be harsh here. And we're just going to, these can add up really quickly. So we're just going to go ahead and use the euthanasia gun and keep our meat coming that way. So it's pretty harsh. Although, one thing is you get a ton of levels from it. I started out a couple days ago at level 97. Now I went from 97 to 98 and a half from grinding the polymer that we made, used for the shotguns, for the jungle dungeon. But then I got from 98 and a half to 99 and a half just by killing baby Rexes. It's terrible that I should be getting XP from that. But probably next time you see me, I'm going to be level 100. So just wanted to point that out, that I'm going to hit max level for the second time ever in the end by killing baby Rexes. All right. So anyway, that's the process. Let's do just another one with you guys, and then I'll go through the rest myself. Okay, so that one's up to 296. So that's higher than the one we bred with. Let's go ahead and look in there. It's kind of weird all crunched into the platform there, but we got to go ahead, read the values from the Ark window, and see what we got. So look, we got the high health. We got the high stamina. That's great. It's good so far. Oxygen was the lower value. That's good. Food's always 33. It's got the lower weight. It's got the high damage, but it has the higher speed. So this one's getting pretty close, but it's still not what I want. I want 40 here. And this could be either the 33 or what was the other one? 44, I think, something like that. Both of those are cool, but this one we want to be lower. So like I said, rather than keep crossbreeding these, I know somewhere in that fridge is going to be the combination I want. And that one I can't kill because it's hiding. It's safe from me. Anyway, well, you guys will be spared this one's death. It looks like I'm going to have to pull up the foundations. But yeah, I'm going to go through the whole fridge worth of eggs, and then I'll show you the best one I found, and then I'll move on to the next part, and I'll do that off camera, and then hopefully we'll get to something really good. One thing I forgot to mention with this is to make sure that your nanny is turned off if you're using a nanny, which I am, because Ark Smart Breeding, the app, doesn't work well with the little percentage points you can get from imprinting. Now, apparently, it knows how to deal with some levels of imprinting, but only in the steps, I guess, that would happen in-game. Normally, without the nanny, I don't know, but it messes it up. So I caught those quick enough before any imprinting had actually happened. But it's good just to leave her off until you figure out the Rexes you want to keep, and then turn her back on before they're mature so that you can get imprinting up to 100% in time. Just wanted to stop and show you this one here, level 304, because it's pretty close. Look at this. It's got the 50 health, the 47 levels into stamina, which this is the unimprinted value of those right here. And then you've seen the imprinted values. Now, the only thing wrong with this one is that the oxygen is a little high. It's 39 instead of 36. So we got 3 wasted levels in the oxygen, because I'm not going to be doing any scuba with these guys. So that's not the most desirable, but it's not the end of the world, given that our level cap is probably pretty high here. If somebody knows how to figure it out from a difficulty 6, then let me know. But also, one thing about whatever your max level is, you should stop 71 levels short of that. Well, if your max level was, say, 450, like it is on official, you should take one less than that, which is 449 minus 71. And so on official, you shouldn't let your levels get past 378, because the levels you put into it, and you can put a max of 71 levels into it, will always be better than these ones that are assigned through breeding or through the wild. So save that. So yeah, max level of 378 is what you got to work under for official. And I was thinking I was working under that, but actually we're probably higher. But anyway, some more factoids for you. Anyway, I just showed you this one because I'm going to keep it, and I'm just going to go ahead and we'll name this one something useful to me so that I can tell. We'll change its name to, we'll say maybe high oxygen, and that will then let me know what's up with this one, and maybe we'll breed it with if I get some that are perfect in every way except for oxygen or something close to that, then I can cross this with a blah blah blah. Okay, I'm talking too much. Yeah, and then I'm just going to give it some food, and we'll put it aside over here, and I'll keep going. And if I find one that has the stats that are exactly perfect that I want, then this one will have to go. And I'm going to need a male and a female of the ones with all the stats where I'm trying to get them to. As I do this, I just realized I forgot to mention in the beginning that I went over this whole app I'm using, the Ark Smart Breeding app, in much more detail in a previous breeding episode, about 4 episodes ago, just before the one with the jungle dungeon, the jungle cave. So if I've confused you with this app, go back to that one, and I go over it much more clearly and much more detail then. And this one doesn't make the cut. Sorry. It's harsh. But as an admin of the server, it's much better than building up way too many dinos, because that's not good for the server at all. About 10 more later, I'm stopping here to show you one that's pretty close that could be a keeper. This one has 50 into health, 47 into stamina, so it got the high stamina that I'm trying to breed in. It's got the lower oxygen, it's got the same food. Now, it's the only thing that's maybe less than desirable is it's got the lower weight, which is not a big deal. It's going to be in the upper 900s after imprinting, so it's probably good enough for whatever it's going to pick up from a boss fight. You know, not that you're going to put any levels into weight if you're bringing this guy to the boss fight. But this one's pretty good. It's got the 50 damage and it's got the lower speed. So we don't have those 8 wasted levels into speed or whichever they were. So this one is a keeper. I'm just going to go ahead and we'll call this one, we'll call it just like a low weight. And put it aside, give it some food. One other little detail to mention is if you wanted to get a bunch of cooked prime, this would be the time to do it. But I'm not doing that right now, but certainly I'm getting a lot of it. But I am feeding it back to them. It's a little weird I am feeding them back to themselves, but so be it. And just all the ones I'm keeping so far are all 1 stat away from what I want. So that's the rules I've set for myself. I haven't found the perfect one yet, but if it's only 1 that needs to change, I save it. And there it is. I hit level 100 thanks to this poor little baby. Sorry, it's for the cause of the greater Rex. So there I am at level 100. So I have been working myself up to 400 health. And at this point, that's all I get. So there's my stats on this incarnation until I do a mind wipe, of course, which we've set it for infinite mind wipe, so I can do more if I need to. Aha, and right after that, here is the perfect one. Well, this is not perfect. Stats get better than this, but of what I'm working with so far and what I'm looking for, we've got the 50 health, the higher 47 stamina, the 36 oxygen, which is the lower value of the ones, and then the higher weight, which is good to have, the 50 damage and the lower speed, so less wasted levels in speed. This is what I want. This is a male. I got lots of females over there, so if I don't get the perfect female out of the rest of the eggs, at least I know I'm going to get there. All right, now out of all of those, here is my last one. It's so great how fast they hatch. Go ahead and print it, accept it, get in the inventory, and check out the values with the Smart Breeding app. 50, 47, oxygen's high, weight is low. But otherwise, okay, but it's 2 off, and I mean, I guess I could keep the low weight, but I've decided I'm going for high weight, so I don't get to keep this one. Sorry. Sorry to show you all the baby Rex death. At least it's not something cuter. Okay, so from all that, I got these. I got 1 male. I'm pretty sure I want to keep that one that was the best base. And then I got a lot that are 1 of the stats off. I think these are mostly all female. So I'm going to take all these females and I'm going to breed them with that 1 male. And out of that, we're going to get the one that has the best of those stats that we have so far. And then these guys are going to be my base pair. From these, I'll create my base pair that I will then build mutations off of. So I got to get these ones all grown up. I'm going to go ahead and get some honey in the nanny real quick if I can get through these guys, because you don't need to imprint them. And if I was doing imprinting the official way, I wouldn't be bothering at all, because most of these are never going to see battle. But since it's so easy, I might as well. And she's going to get them all up to 100, and they're going to get all grown up. I'm going to feed them all up and everything. So I'll see you for that next part. All right, so it's a little while later, and I took that 1 male that had the best stats out of all the stats that I have to choose from right now, and I bred that lucky guy with the 8, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 females that were all 1 stat off from having the full set that I wanted, because I didn't get any females like that. And then from that, and this show how happy he is about that. From that, I got these 5, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, they're not all females, but I got 5 Rexes that have all the stats that he has, which is pretty much the best I can do. I can't stand there because all their tails will hit me. But if I go over here and I grab this, we can see that these are all of them right there. So the 301 male best base is that first male from the previous generation. And now there are 2 more males like him and 2 females. So you can see now when I sort by top percentile that all these dinos come at the top, even though not all of their stats are the highest that I have, but they all have 4 of the highest ones that are the ones that I want to be high. So they have the 50 HP, the 47 stamina, 44 levels put into weight, and the 50 into damage. So that's pretty good. And then the other ones are actually lower, which is what I want too. I managed to get them all with the 40 speed. So I have a few less stats that are wasted into speed, slightly lower oxygen, and the food's just been the same throughout. At least I'm not getting additional stats being wasted put into that. So this represents the base pair, even though there's more than 1 male, 1 female, but I've got mating pairs that have 0 mutations. And if I want to do better than this, the stats have to come from the wild because none of these are mutations. So this is, a good pair that's necessary to be able to breed the mutations back to, so that the mutations don't get stacked up too high and then I'm not able to get new mutations. So just wanted to show you guys that. Next thing I'm going to do, and I don't have time to do it in this episode, is I'm going to take these guys and I'm going to start breeding them with the dinos that have the highest mutations. So far we've only got up to 56 levels into health and 52 into melee. And then once I get those, I'm going to breed them back again and try to get even more mutations for the stats that I want. Mainly health and melee. It could get higher in stamina too, because that's important when you're riding them. So hopefully I will do well on that. But that will be the next step. So I'm not going to show you all of that play by play, but I will bring you back to the results in an upcoming episode. I just wanted to show you the process that I'm going through to do this and some of the basic principles of breeding the best base pair, meaning the ones with no mutations, and the combination of the best stats that you have available. And then also sometimes that the highest level isn't the best. Sometimes some of the stats you'd actually like to be lower so that you can save those levels to put into the ones that you want. So I feel pretty good about this. I will still be looking for new Rexes out in the wild that might have levels that are even better that I can add to my base pair, which is actually much more than the pair now, my base 6. And yeah, even these guys would be pretty great in a fight. But yeah, I haven't leveled these up yet because I'm just like looking at their stats as they are. Anyway, I hope this was useful to you. I'm going to get back to the breeding, and next episode will probably be some more adventures, maybe the ice cave here in Ragnarok. We shall see. But for now, thank you for watching to the end of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.